everybody, welcome back. Alright, let's go ahead and get back in here. Now, I will say I forgot to mention the advanced military just really quickly, and then we'll get to a lot more action this episode. You have two choices on this, and it is kind of tricky, but I think I would prefer this one in a lot of circumstances because you got to remember, getting to tier 5 is very expensive and it's going to take a very long time. So I guess it depends on how far in the game you are, but like early on, your first advanced military building, looking at these are better at the tier 2 to start with, right? Like I've talked about how much I love this guy, the Beast of Nurgle. And this is okay. You don't need a lot of these, though. It's kind of weird. Like, you get 3 of them. Like, you don't need a lot of these war shrines. Like, having one of them is good, but kind of expensive to have multiples. Over here, these Pox Riders are quite good early on, and the drones are okay. I don't know if they fixed a lot of their kind of collision problems. But you've also got Pox Riders, again here, more of that. Chariot is underwhelming over here. Chaos Knights are okay. Like they're pretty legit. I would rather have probably monsters fill that role a lot of times, just because they're better at sticking in combat. But they're pretty legit. Then you get the Death's Head with, I don't remember if they had that much ammo before, but like 10 ammo, they hit pretty hard. Like, they're pretty good. But these Wasps, well, which one did I say I would get? I think this one. I don't know what I said before, but this one with the Nurgle. Because, yeah, especially as I'm walking through it, it's like, these are alright. It's like cavalry and these drones have had collision problems in the past. They just kind of get torn up if they get caught. They just don't weigh enough. Yeah, so, like, once they charge in, they have a hard time getting out, and they tend to, like, fan out. It's just kind of a mess the way that kind of their collision and stuff works. And then you do get paid off at the end with the Rot Knights, which are good. Now, we can hire those from our dude as well with Dominance. But it's okay, but not amazing. But these over here, the War Shrines, again, not insane, but having some are okay. These things are great. But then you get to the Ogres, which are good, especially the anti-large ogres are very nice. They can also take out walls, which helps you out a lot whenever you're doing sieges. Open up more surface area for your units to come in, because you're going to have a lot of infantry because you're Nurgle, so just trying to pour them all through like a tight choke point is probably not a great idea. And you don't have a lot of artillery to knock out the walls usually either. So having these ogres available to knock out walls at tier 3 is handy. And then you also get the Soul Grinder. Now, this guy's great because he's a monster that can charge in and do some damage on the back, but he's also a really good ranged unit that has this explosive spread shot thing that does a lot of damage. So this was the best Nurgle unit for a while. It might still be. But it's very, very good. And then once you get to tier 4, then you get 3 extra Soul Grinders and just more Nurgle, or more ogres. You also get a great unclean one. These guys are not... They're pretty good. They're pretty good. They are a little expensive for what they are. They're kind of like giants. But they do have some magic. They do have, you know, a couple of benefits in there. So they're okay. Now, tier 5, obviously, you get the Toe Dragons, which are fantastic, and you get more unclean ones. But tier 5, again, is quite a ways off typically. But tier 4... is reasonable. Tier 3 is definitely doable in the early game, and you're going to end up with 4 ogres, 4 of these Beasts of Nurgle, and 1 Soul Grinder early on. And you get some of these that are okay. So really, there's not a lot of wasted units here. Versus this one, like the Marauders with throwing axes are basically a waste. Toad Riders are okay. I would almost certainly rather have the ogres, though, in a lot of situations. And these, like, drones are okay, but the chariot is garbage. So I would almost certainly go with this one early on if you're thinking about which ones to get. It scales pretty good too. Like obviously the Rot Knights, you could make an argument maybe they're better than Toe Dragon, maybe not. I would say that Unclean One is probably more useful than Chaos Knights in a lot of situations. Although these are good at running down ranged units, and that is something that you can kind of struggle with sometimes as Nurgle. So, anyways, those are kind of my thoughts there. All right, and then we're at war with Heralds of Tempest. I think we just kill the other people. Tusk Sun people, we probably kill them eventually. Clan Ferric, I'm not sure where he is, but yeah, there's not a lot of mileage out of being nice with people with this guy. Okay, we hired our dude, put him in there. That's all we can hire. We just have, I think, like 2 Nurglings left that we can hire. Okay. Dang, those are extremely expensive too. Death's Head. Okay. The advanced buildings do let you hold more units. 3 more of all units too, which is nice. But I would probably just want to put them to use rather than just like hold them. I mean, that's useful if like really late game if you have a ton of units, I guess, but oh yeah, these logs too. I got to mention that.
Nurgle's blades are my heralds, and the worthy have heard my call.
Now, I'm not sure if you have to. So I have to reach aligned before I can unlock the other ones. Okay. But it costs 7. And I was just looking at it. I think I am actually going to go with this guy because like all 3 of these are good. Even the tier, that's probably the best tier 1 of anybody. And I assume the rest of them are going to be expensive. Aspiring, these are, again, they're okay, but there's a lot of overlap with other units. I don't know about these. These are okay. Those are garbage at tier 1. Those are, like, good units, but just doesn't match our kind of combat style, I don't think. But, okay. Alright, I think we're just supposed to just dash. I don't believe we can get there in how many turns? I would like to stay on my property for replenishment if I can. Can I get there in 1 turn? Do I risk it? If I could move from here to here, but I have to like run through a little bit of forest here. I'm not gonna risk it for a little bit of replenishment. I'm gonna make sure we get him next turn. Okay, hopefully we can be friendly with that guy. Because I really would like to go east and then probably south. Now, he's going to be busy with, I think, with the bear guy. Okay. These woods, timber now gives you cycle time on basic military and minus construction costs. So that's actually, like, extremely good. And even advanced military cycle time -1. So that's, you definitely want to turn this into, but then you also have to get this eventually, but that's like later in the game, really expensive. But yeah, there's just not enough building spots, but this is only local region for the cycle time. It's province for the construction cost, but region for the cycle time. Okay, so we've got 2 more turns. We can hire our wizard. Oh, crap. That's an infections building. Okay. Crap. I should have gotten rid of that a couple turns ago. I mean, infections is not like the end of the world. It's good. But I kind of want the money. I don't know, actually, because now I've hired almost all the units I can hire. I'm not going to get any more anytime soon. Maybe infections are the way to go. Okay, and I like doing plague ridden, or the Nurgle version, because we're going to have a lot of heroes and we can use healing magic on them. Yes. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so we're going to have to run him over there, which is going to take a second. Okay, get rid of this building. We'll get some money back off of that. Then I guess we just put an infections building there. That does give control, which does help growth. I'll think about it. Okay, so we've got fecundity. Now we want to switch over and... No, this way. Yes. Maddening Crowds is okay. You get +1 control, and then Carcinogenic is growth. Now, growth is good, obviously, but I just don't have the money to, like, build stuff. So I would much rather have drop chance, more infections, and, I think, I mean, so we've got, our choice really is Nurgle Corruption and drop chance on items, or line of sight only for settlements, or 1 control and growth. I just want the infections, I think, and drop chance of items. The corruption's kind of whatever. That's like on par with control to me. Growth is good. I just can't do anything with it. I don't think right now. Okay. And more corruption basically leads to more growth. Until everywhere is fully corrupted. Alright. Got all this. Let's do it. Okay, and we want to fight this. So all we've got left are a couple of Nurglings we can hire, but then we're going to be relying on our dominance units, probably. We can't really afford that many more units anyways, upkeep-wise right now. Or hiring, so we're just kind of broke. It always comes down to the money. Or very often it comes down to money. Unfortunately in real life, but also in the game. Alright. These dudes are obviously injured, but they'll still do pretty well front line. And then... got our flankers. Okay, and he is on a mount, and we want him with the flankers. And he's a good sort of duelist. Make him my 8. Usually I save 9 for a spellcaster. Actually, we'll keep him over here. Does he have an aura? Sort of. He doesn't have a charge bonus aura yet, though. Okay. Well, no. Keep them over here. Actually, we can have the... We'll just have these guys flank, and the rest of these can just kind of stay over here. use that too. All the abilities. Oh, back it up, back it up, back it up. Are those freaking marauders are obnoxious. Dang, what is the range on those? Holy cow. I would like to have everybody kind of grouped up too, if possible. They're kind of making me split up a little bit here. Okay, we should be able to flank around that side. And put these on the spears. Wait, what is... Yes, these guys are kind of getting roughed up a little bit. These guys are almost done. Then I'm gonna... Well, actually, I need to save up for this. I was gonna use the movement speed thing. Okay, they just ran into me, sure. Let's see if we can get over here, push through these spears a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna... Well, I guess just fight them. I'm gonna say I was gonna ignore them and just try to charge this. Get those out of there. Okay, they're running. The plague toads are about to break.
Warriors of Nurgle! Tamurkhan! Strength of the Earth Father! Bringer of desolation! With me! Obey!
Okay, so we got a little roughed up on the toads. A lot of the models are left, though. Okay, they're all gonna die because it's a town. So yeah, these guys, I mean, they came in with lower health in general, but as you can see, they look like they take a lot more damage than Warriors of Chaos, and the Warriors of Chaos do way more damage. Or they killed way more models. So that's... I think these just are a lot better than these guys. Not a lot, but like significantly. Now it's just one battle, and you know they may have had a tougher matchup. They were hitting spears. These guys, I think, were hitting swords. So spear units usually have higher defense, all that stuff. Okay, I just don't want to repair the buildings if I loot and occupy or deal with the public order problems. I could sack, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have the movement. And again, I'm going to have to repair probably at least 700 gold worth of stuff. Also gives me a building. If you sack it, it almost never gives you a building. And I think this is worth at least 1,000 gold. So it's rarely worth to sack. Unless you get bonuses to sack with factions now. Sack and occupy used to just be the standard, but... Okay, do I want... charge bonus, melee defense, or deadly strike? I mean, when he charges, 90 is already enough. He's going to be hitting everybody. If you don't know, like, I think the highest you can get is an 85% chance to hit. So, if your melee attack is more than 85, their melee defense, or not even that, 45. If it's more than 45, their melee defense, because I think the normal percentage chance to hit is 45 if you have even melee attack and defense. So, if you have 40 more melee attack than they have defense, then you're already sort of capped at how often you're going to hit him. So he's already got 71, which is a lot, and then off the charge, he's going to have, 161. So there's no units that are going to have, a billion melee defense. So I think that melee defense is probably the better stat for prolonged combat. Like, that's not going to help a lot if they charge into him. And getting 30 more charge bonus is not going to do a lot because we already have so much. It does increase your damage per hit, but he already hits really hard. So, like, the charge bonus is a lot more relevant, I think, on, like, units with multiple models, right? Monsters or cavalry or whatever. So, it's either thick skin, which is only 15 armor. This is 12 melee defense, which I think is better. So we'll go for that. Alright. And this is construction cost for all buildings. Okay. Construction time for all buildings. Okay. They don't really do a good job of scaling. Like, it takes too many turns. It's just too expensive for what it is with a lot of these kind of buildings. But the wood one was crazy, though, because that's construction cost and cycle time. So that's just way better than marbles. Or marble, I should say. Okay. So we got this, and then just everything we can get. We're going to need them. And then we're running this guy over there. Don't want to get buy any dominant stuff. Okay. And then we decided to go for Pestiferous Life. Now, this gets a little dicey. In the practice session that I did, the Dragon Ogre guy was standing there protecting this vassal when I came down there. But then when I backed up, he ran away and tried to deal with these orcs, because I think he's at war with the orcs. And they are about as strong as he is. Yeah, so he's at war with me and the orcs. we can't get there in one turn. Let's go here and see if we can get, like, ambush stance. Okay, so we can do ambush, or we don't have any magic yet. And we're probably going to get discovered, but we'll try it out. They also nerfed, just speaking of kind of magic here, I'm pretty sure they nerfed the hell out of Spirit Leech over time. Like, this just feels really wimpy. Like, single target, 13 seconds of 50-ish damage. It's like 600 damage before any sort of magic resistance or anything else. And this used to be like the spell, you know, with Warhammer 1. Certainly one of them, but Aspect of the Dreadnought is okay. For causing terror. Doom and Darkness is quite good. It costs a lot. Or actually, I guess it doesn't cost as much as it used to. I guess they lowered the cost on this. This is actually buffed. I thought it was like $8.14. But now it's $5.10 for 16 leadership. So that's actually pretty good. Soul Blight is okay. Lowering armor is legit, especially against like Marauders or other like really low armor targets. I don't know if it can give them negative armor. I don't think it can. That would be kind of weird if they took extra damage, but it'll take them down to 0 armor. And then armor doesn't stack. It stacks linearly. So like 10 armor is basically, it takes whatever your armor number is, half of that value, and it rolls a number that's at random between it. So dropping somebody, I think, from like 100 armor to 70 armor is going to be the same amount of extra damage as dropping somebody from 30 to 0. I think. Versus a lot of games, League of Legends and many other games will have like this non-linear scaling where basically the closer you remove armor to 0, the more effective extra damage you're doing. But I don't think that's the case with this. Okay, Purple Sun is pretty good. It's hard to control, but it does kill a lot of mass units. Very good on sieges. You have to be careful because we have a lot of infantry, though. But then Fate of Buna is extremely good. Like, this is heavy damage. And so this can help you deal with, you know, those troublesome cav or monstrous infantry or whatever. We don't have a lot of anti-large, so that could be a problem. So, it's expensive, but it is a lot of damage. It's like 4,000 damage. But War of Nurgle also has some good stuff. This Miasma is kind of whatever. It's bad. You won't use it most of the time. Maybe against an enemy lord while you're dueling, knocking out 25 melee attack. That could be legit. It's very cheap. Stream of Corruption, though. 24 damage, all armor piercing for 5. This is an extremely good win spell. Extremely good win spell early on. Like, you can spam this, and it will do a lot of damage. Now, I mean, it's not going to, like, one-shot their line, but just, like, on a cost basis, it's one of the better cheap spells in the game. Not quite as good as, like, Flock of Doom or something, I think, but it's, like, it's legit against entry-level infantry. And it poisons, which is nice, but all your units already poison. Curse of the Leper. I'm not 100% sure about this one. The extra armor is nice. Melee reflection, every time they hit you, they take 14 damage. Last 30 seconds, though. I mean, maybe we'll try it out. Like, this could be pretty legit. Can you get it on multiple people? No, it's just more reflection. So, I'm not sure if that does more than the Corrupting Wind or whatever. Stream of Corruption. I guess if they hit you twice, it does do more, right? 30 seconds is a long time. So they hit you twice, it's 28 damage. And you get 30 armor. I mean, that's pretty good. That's only single entity, but... Rancid Visitation, so this is direct damage. This is basically like a better version of... I thought this used to be AoE, but I guess not. This is a better... damn it, I was just on it. Soul Leech or whatever from War of Death. Spirit Leech, there we go. It's a better Spirit Leech. It's more expensive, but it does way, way, way more damage. I guess not really at first, 10 seconds, but 22 seconds. You can't upgrade Spirit Leech. You can upgrade this one. At doing like 100 damage. That's like 2,000 damage to a character. So that's pretty good, especially if they don't have a lot of magic resist. The initial one for 10 seconds, it's like 600 damage. It's not, or I guess 1,000 damage. That's not that great, but it's okay. Blight Boil, a lot of like pretty heavy damage, kind of expensive, but huge explosion area. And 72 is really big. That's like Foot of Gork territory. That's quite a bit of damage. Fleshy Abundance. So this is the main reason to go for this. I think they even nerfed this a little bit, but this thing is insane. So single target, it's healing for over 30% of their max health. Or multi-target, all allies in range, 35. So you can, if all of your units are clumped up and you cast this on them, I think it used to cost like 25. They made it 28. Over 30% healing. Bonkers in a team fight with all of your infantry. Just have them all balled up and just spam this on them. It's almost impossible to kill them. So, and this is really good, even just starting out a fight. Again, if your hero is like very injured, or your single entity unit is really injured, you can heal them up. So, super good spell. So you have, hold on. Okay, what do we want here? I don't think I want to do the infection thing, or I don't want to do like a military thing here. I'd rather, I guess, have access to a plague, even though they're not insane. We could roll a really good plague early on. There is more RNG to it. So I guess we just throw down a plague making building here. We could also go for this. It's going to take 4 turns. Cultists can damage walls. We have ogres that can also damage walls. Increased mobility is very nice. And I think he summons a bunch of stuff too. Like, he's pretty good. He's an okay fighter. Now, when you sell stuff back, I think you get like 3/4 of the gold back. So I think we'd get like 1,600 gold back. But it's going to cost us 2,000 up front. We're going to have to wait 4 turns for this. And then we're going to have to hire the dude. Then he's going to have to walk over. That's going to be, 8 turns before he catches up, minimum. If we keep pushing forward. So, and it's going to cost all of our money. The growth is good. We do have a problem with growth. But again, we also have a problem with money. So I don't think we're going to be able to get tier 3. And we don't even get anything at tier 3. Like, there's not really a useful bonus unless we get some of these buildings. But we could go ahead and get one of these and... I feel like that's a little slow, though. Like, I want the infection so I can do a plague early. And to help with the public order, too. That will also help with growth. So these growth buildings at tier 3, you could get 45. If you had 3 of those, it'd be 135 growth. Plus 90 if you have 3 towns. Yeah, that gets you over 200, because you do get a lot of bonuses at 200 growth. So this gives extra corruption everywhere, recruit rank. This is like more money at 200 growth. Chance of plague spreading and plague turns. That's insane, but all of this is very expensive. So, like, you do have some good scaling. Some late game stuff. But you have to have over 200 growth, which is kind of a somewhat wasted stat at a certain point. I don't know. I think just going for the plague stuff right now... I think the cultist is just going to be too late. The movement is good, but... Okay, and then... Let's get this last Nurgling. We might even be capped on movement. No, we're not going to be capped, but like we've got the dude is giving us 5%, and as we get him more loyal to us, I think it scales up to like 20% movement. We get 10% from Tamurkhan's passive in general, so that's probably 30%, and then I'm getting 5%, at least 5% from my skill tree. Yeah, I don't think we'd be capped, but... Okay, we're almost here. Why can't I do a plague? Oh, I have to accumulate 200 total infections. Okay. I don't think he's here. Okay. I don't know how strong he is either. But... Okay, we gotta be clean with this. We're gonna keep fighting it. We cannot auto-resolve yet. We will auto-resolve more in the future. But, again, these toads take a lot of punishment on auto-resolve unless you just overwhelmingly overpower the enemy. And I need those to be good. This guy's getting just a ton of experience. I would really like the magic to be over here before I fight. Okay. Gotta be careful these Nurglings don't burn out. Might want to just... make these kind of, like, the Nurglings be backup. Not frontline them. Just sprinkle them in just to fill out some chafe. We can just put this guy in with the main stuff. He doesn't need to do anything fancy. It'll have him in a slight back row position anyways. Or actually, let's see, put him on the front line. The nice thing about the toads is that they disrupt enemy formation. So as they're jumping around, they'll like knock over, especially low weight enemy models. So there's the interesting thing about Total War is there's a lot of elements to the combat that don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet that you can kind of play around just with the physics, like knocking units over. Like they were doing to me in the trees, like just huddling up near trees so like models get blocked, like I did by pinning a dude kind of up against that mountain, the Marauders, so I could catch them. Hills, you do get advantage if you have high ground in a lot of ways. So I think that's just really cool about this game is it's not just the stat sheet. It sort of is, but your tactics matter quite a bit too. Why is this guy running where... Oh, those are the ogres. Are they that slow? Okay, I guess they're a lot slower than I thought they were. So let's... We'll flank with the ogres, and we can have these just kind of run up and disrupt the lines. We'll have him flank. They're trying to protect those flanks. We'll get him though. We're crawling on over. Now ideally you want to wait. You can walk your units over there too. I like just running and then just waiting on them to get back to fresh. Just gotta watch the spears. Wow, they just let me charge him, huh? That's kind of a bold move. It is not... I mean, they usually micro... They used to micro those Marauders almost perfectly, where you could just, like, never catch them, and it was super frustrating. Do not want to put the Ogres into the Spears. Okay, so those guys are broken.
Son of Nurgle! Let there be butchery! Cleave and contaminate! Slay them all! Serve the plague, Father! Forward! Move on them! They're dead! It brings malady! Maggot Lord! By my savage spirit! The cycle continues!
Where's Homie? Oh, I made him 9 this time on accident. Okay. Alright. They're in the town, but I can heal a little bit. Okay, there we go. This dude's basically healed up, but...
With me!
Alright, where's Tamurkhan?
Riding on!
Let's get this heal in here. Does he regenerate too? He does regenerate. Nice.
Bringer of desolation!
Tamurkhan does not. Yet. Just use that, get some replenishment. Oh, if you overstock, that's kind of cool. It fills up. They also changed the way that this stacks. So if you have poison on people, basically, every unit that's poison, you get stacks. Instead of all your units that die or damage you take or something like that. Okay. Let's get them that little bit of heal there. Ogres and the cavalry putting in some work. Chaos Warriors still did better than Plague Bears. Now, they are more expensive units too, so that is worth noting. Terrifying Mask of E. Cause terror. Okay. Does he already cause terror? I can't remember.
A sight for fox and conquest!
Nice.
Tamurkhan!
Captain Terrifying Mask of E. Now, did he cause terror anyways, though? He did not. Okay. Alright, we can throw that on there then. Not sure if I should put that on him or the hero, but... Corruption, honestly, might be even better than that, just to get that going a little bit faster. We don't need to put a ton of points in there, but Unholy Resilience is big pickup.
Desolation for all!
Training, everybody gets 20% more. I think that applies to heroes too. I'm like 99% sure that includes heroes.
Nurgle's champion!
Okay, so we didn't get anything for that one. Didn't get a free building.
Master of hosts!
So, I mean, we could buy one of these, but again, I'm just going to save up and probably buy either the Famir or the Chaos Warrior, dude. So these are, I mean, if I really need it, if I'm in like big trouble, I can get one of those, but it's kind of rough. Or I would rather spend it on this. Now, I don't know how much that costs, but even if it's double, even if it's triple, I would rather have this than the than the chariot. I think we bought all of our units we can buy. See, it's already taken this guy forever to get over here and like join the fight. Now, if they're down there fighting those orcs and they don't come over here, we might be able to take them out. Okay. I don't think that's worth. I mean, maybe I'm not appreciating a lot of this stuff. If you get a bunch of different chances of plague spreading and all this, like, you can potentially, like, again, mid to late game, maybe it's crazy with all the plague bonuses. It's just like early game, it's definitely weaker. I mean, you literally can't even use plagues, you know, for your first 5 to 10 turns. I'm not going that hard on the infections, but, like, even if I was, I still wouldn't be able to get 200 infections. Like, maybe I could have had it by now, but, okay. So that's fine. We'll keep the infection building. I guess we'll keep that one for now. I kind of need the money, but I can't buy any units. I need infections to make the military buildings anyway, so... Could use the money to try to, like, level one of these up, but... Chance of plague spreading, recruitment health, so it does not have replenishment. Which I believe it used to have like plus 10% replenishment, but now it's recruitment health. Recruitment cost, control. The recruitment cost is new, I think. If you recruit on your own property. And the plague spreading, I believe, was there. I think it caps out at 10%. So yeah, Nurgle corruption's pretty good. I mean, corruption factions in general are just extremely powerful. In my mind, a lot of it, even just getting plus 10 control is so massive. So you don't even have to worry about public order. Which is nice, because sitting around having to deal with rebellions, or just like power farming rebellions, is annoying. So I love that change they made a while back, where it basically ends up just costing you growth if you have bad public order. To 70. Okay. Well, we got that almost. That's probably next turn, right? Oh, no, we did it. Wait, what? Controlled province to 70. We already did it. Right? Am I just getting gaslit here? Or does it check at the end of turn? Now, here's the question. Is he there? I don't think we can siege his stack with a garrison. Well, there's a weaker guy. Oh, yeah. We can take that. Now, we're not gonna... Where do we start with? 100? How much do we... Okay, so we're not going to have enough to plague at the end of this turn. This dude's not going to be able to get in our army. Which he's not, like, extremely influential, because right now all he has is Miasma of Flies. But, you know, that would still be nice to spam on the big guy. But yeah, they have replenished troops. You can either do Locus of Fecundity to get even more healing. Remember, there is a healing cap, though. I don't remember what it is. I think it's like baseline 50% of a target's HP. I don't remember if it's an army cap, just so much period for your whole army, or if each individual unit has a cap. I think it's each unit, and I think it's 50% of the unit's health. It might be 100% of the unit's health. But we will get to that cap a lot with the Nurgle magic. So Locus of Fecundity could be a little redundant, but that could save you some magic too if you use this. So this is Vigor plus extra healing. And then you have Locus of Contagion is the other one that could be good, where it's AoE damage, basically somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 damage to all units around, and there's no... The Fecundity has 3 uses, period. There's no limit. It's just every 90 seconds. So in really long fights, this adds up a lot. And then Locus of Virulence is garbage. It's just like extra melee attack or something like that. And weapon strength. I mean, I don't know. I would have to do the math. Maybe this is more than 1,000 damage if you have a ton of units lined up fighting. This is obviously better at dealing with enemy lords or units that have a lot of magic resist. But my thought is that this is just way more consistent. So that's what we'll probably get. And then you can eventually get a Rotfly, which is good for mobility, or you can get a Pelican, which I don't think gives a special aura or anything, but gives you a lot of armor and more HP. So yeah, very good hero. Okay, let's go ahead and fight it. How much time? Yeah, we might go a little over time, but I'll try to just give you guys 3 fights, since I was talking a lot in the last couple episodes. Ooh. There's an orc knocking on their door? Where is Dude? That's pretty nice, because then Dude is going to have to come up, if he wants to try to take this back from me, he's going to have to fight the orc, and then he's going to have to fight me. Now, the orc he'll probably just blow through, but... Okay, yeah, let's do it. Actually, yeah, we'll do it. We'll go over the hour. I just said that I would. Forgot, this is a siege. This could take a little bit longer, but... I think we'll do it. Should be fine. We're probably going to take our cavalry and go for a side gate. And then we'll just walk everyone else up to the front. We can use our main guy. It's going to have gate breaking. These guys are also siege attackers. These are just... I can't say enough good things about these. Like... They don't have massive numbers. You're not going to get, like, 300 kills with them in a fight. But they're just really good, like, glue units. Just workhorse units that just do a lot of things and help out. So these things are going to be kind of awkward, and they're sort of slow, too. We'll keep them around on the front line, though. And then this guy can help us knock out the gates with Tamurkhan. This guy doesn't technically do extra damage to gates, but he still does a lot of damage in general. There's only so much surface area on gates, too. So you want to have, like, your single entity or kind of heavy hitter units. And then we'll have him... knock out some of these walls to help us get in there. Maybe like right around there. Okay, and then these guys can run around the side. And we'll just chill with these until we open up the gates. Guess we could. I'm trying to fight a second gate. That's interesting. Just to let the magma flow, I guess. We're going to start here so they don't put troops way over there. They don't have many ranged units, so it's kind of just the cannonball stuff. Interesting. Okay, so they're spirit leeching me. I don't have any magic resist, but I do have regeneration. See, look how wimpy that is. That did, like, almost nothing. I could just climb up these walls, too, but... They did buff up gates a while back.
It brings malady. Hungry.
They're cutting through that pretty well, though. Who's leeched? Oh. Main dude. That's fine.
Bringing the rot.
Oh, they're hitting my Nurglings. They're actually more valuable than usual because early plague spreading does not give you Nurglings anymore. So I really need to try to make sure they don't die. Nothing needs to die.
Warriors of Nurgle.
Oh, nice. And we killed a bunch of those units.
Carve the meat. Where chaos commands. Desolation through Nurgle.
Actually, where are the toads?
Megalord.
They hopefully will have enough weight to push through. I just need to shut these things up.
Easily. Warriors of Nurgle.
I need to back these up. I'm about to get in trouble here.
All right. Let's go, boys.
Okay, we got on these guys, messing with them a little bit.
Tamurkhan. Plague and filth.
How long we got, boys? Maybe I should have kept them over there. But that's fine.
Tamurkhan. Gush out, boys. Crunch their skulls. Fools of the cave. They will rot.
Nope. Come over here. There we go. Yeah, get in there.
Bring rot. Make war.
So this is where like that AoE damage type of thing would be extremely good. Come on, boys. Okay, we're almost through. Yeah, I should have just saved him over there and just used the ogres to knock out walls and flanked around that way.
Spread Nurgle's love. Tamurkhan. Yes.
Oh, we got the Lord. Okay, nice.
By my savage spirit! Pierce flesh!
Yeah, these guys see him coming. Like, help! I'm glad they just met me at the gate instead of making me, like, have to walk through all these towers and stuff, too. Feels like the AI recently has forced you a lot of times to have to chase them. Okay, nice. Okay, so some of my Nurglings got a little dinged up. I know it seems like they don't matter, but when I can't replace them, they do matter. I am greeding out a little bit by not making any sort of military buildings early on. But we're doing alright. I'm just wondering what's his name? The big dragon ogre doing? Like, he's not protecting his top alliance. Somehow he's also got an orc that's knocking on his door here. So he must have gone to fight another orc, and this orc was just trying to backdoor him. Or that's a tasty sack. It's probably a tier 2. I don't have any movement though. Ooh. 20% upkeep reduction for plague bears. Wow. Dude, that's a serious follower. Holy crap. There's no way these orcs actually beat him, right? No. Where is he? Oh no, that's... Okay, I don't know where he is. He's taking attrition now, though, because he doesn't have a town. So that's a little odd. So last time... How big is this army? It's pretty big. I mean... That'll do a little damage to him. Like, where... What is he doing? Was he over here messing with this guy? Please tell me he's not, like, somehow snuck in here and is backdooring me. I have no clue what this dude's doing. Alright, I need to run this down here. Because this town is intact. Orcs own that. Or, Greenskins own that. Greenskins own that. And Greenskins own that. He didn't come up here to defend this. That was his vassal. So maybe he was running over here. Is he at war with that guy? No, he's at war with the Greenskins. I don't know. So, like, last time he came over here, defended this. So I had to back up, go into ambush stance, and wait an extra turn. Then he came back down here. Presumably to fight these Greenskins. And then I took this, and then he came back from down here and fought me. So I assume he's probably just in here somewhere. Maybe he's like, or one of these. I was gonna say maybe he's sieging one of these. But whatever, I'll take it. Okay, so Unholy Resilience, and then this is 12, right? Yeah. Okay. Just keep it going with the money for now. I mean, again, we are kind of greeding out a little bit here. But the thing is, like, even if you just keep around the money buildings for a little bit, you could always sell it back, right? Like, I could sell it back for probably like 500 gold-ish. And so as long as I keep this up for 2 turns, it's worth it. I am losing out on potential rotations of this stuff, but I think it's good. I kind of want access to a plague just in case I need it for when I fight him, though. So I don't want to, like, use all my infections. God, see what I'm saying? Like, just how constrained your infections are? Like, I'm getting none from these battles, basically, and these infection buildings are only 10 early on. It's like, I could upgrade it, but that's expensive, and I only get 5 more per turn. Like, yes, the plague spreading thing is cool if you activate that later on in the game, so this is, like, probably a very good building later. I don't know if that's province-wide or just this, like, specific town also. But, yeah, I want to do it in the place with the timber. Obviously. So I'm going to need tier 2 for that. Which is coming up soon. I can probably start that next turn. Then once I get 2, maybe I could put in the timber building. Upgrade it, because that'll make my other buildings cheaper. And then off of that, then I could go ahead and get a this rancid seedling building. Although, I don't know, 20% reduction on upkeep reduction on these things is good, but I also get, like, massive extra replenishment for these units. And Chosen are just way better anyway. So I think I'm still going this, even with that crazy reduction, but it's tempting. And then this, I don't think I talked about this one. This building's just kind of hot garbage, in my opinion. Like, you do get, this is the only, like, entry-level building with monsters. But, as you can see, the toads are, like, okay, but they're definitely not, like, overwhelmingly powerful. We don't need hounds. I mean, that is good for running down things and killing it, but we've already got the cavalry for that. You don't need a lot of units that do that type of thing. Chaos Furies are pretty much garbage. They just get wiped out so fast. The rot flies are okay, like we talked about before, but this is the lowest version of them. They have super low melee defense. Just not that compelling. Now, these trolls are okay. 29 melee attack and 45 melee defense is okay. They do have a little debuff, the -6 melee defense, so that is nice. But these things being level 3, these spawn are like, again, they're all right, but used to be able to get them a lot earlier. They are some okay carry units, but still, like, they do a lot of weapon strength. But they have virtually no armor, no physical resist. They do have higher melee defense than most spawn because they do have Cloud of Flies, so they effectively have, like, 42 melee defense. They are unbreakable. They do help with sieging, but... So, yeah, I mean, at the lower level, maybe if we're just really broke, or we get the lower level cycling is way faster. So I'm not saying, like, never get these, but... The advanced... Oh, you can't even get advanced military on the smaller ones. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Because, like, the really good stuff requires tier 4, but, like, you could still do an advanced military and just go through tier 3 and it would be okay. But yeah, I mean, just look at how much better this is. Yes, you're paying up. Yes, it cycles a little bit faster, but you're getting quality monsters at every single rank. Like, I would much rather just pay up instead of getting this garbage and get this. Or even potentially this. So, because you don't need a lot of these monster type of units. Like, they're okay. You just need a few, you know, just to do a lot of your damage. You do need a lot of infantry. So, anyways. That's kind of my thoughts. I guess that's going to be it for this episode. We'll go ahead and end and just kind of see what happens at the end of the turn if he attacks us or kind of what the deal is. And then we'll move on from there. Here, I think we still just go for... the corruption and infections. It does feel like it takes a lot longer to stack your corruption up. It's still, like, pretty good. Like, we still had +9, but man, Nurgle before used to have, like, +20 or 30 or just something crazy. Like, everything was corrupt. That was, like, one of their big strengths, is they spread the corruption faster than almost anybody. Okay, this dude. Again, I think we're just going to go hard to hit. I know he's supposed to be really aggressive, but as I said last time, he already has that kind of on lock. I just want to make sure he doesn't have a lot of HP, so I just don't want him to get clapped by other lords. Okay. I think we're good on the buildings. Everything's basically money. Couple of infection buildings. This one should maybe be money, but we also need infections too, so I think it's an okay balance. I really kind of do want to get a cultist. Again, it was going to take like 8 turns to get them online, and I just don't know if I care that much. I mean, campaign movement range is good, but as long as you can kind of reach the next town, like...
I shall leave you as a maimed corpse.
Is he going to come at me? Nah. But you're probably my next target, though, sir. Wow, mountains are yellow? What does that even mean? Construction cost. Oh, God. Replenishment rate minus 8%. Ugh. I thought chaos, like, you could settle anywhere. I'll have to think about that. I mean, I could skip them and just go for Cathay. You don't get a lot of benefit from being their friend, though. Like, you can't trade with them or anything. Okay, so he is here. Alright, so we got a bunch of corruption. We got plagues now. Alright, where is he? Where actually is he? Okay, so he was coming over here, and he is raiding my property here. This guy's going for him. Are there any other climates that are no good? Mountain, and then desert and ocean. Okay. Basically just mountains. So I could leave the greenskins alone. The thing is, they're such an easy target. Like, they're so easy to kill. I could go for... These guys don't like us, I think. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, the world kind of turns there. So we could just go this way and then go into Cathay. The Cathayan gates are kind of annoying to get through. Or... Chaos Dwarves are harder to fight. Probably. I don't know. If we would beat them, I'd have to think carefully about that, because they have a lot of armor. I mean, we do have some armor piercing, but these greenskins are just so easy. Like, they're one of the weakest factions in the game as far as their units. The thing that makes them strong is if they get a wall, but we're gonna have lightning strike for that. So it's like, yeah, the property kind of sucks, but it's so easy to kill them, though. We could back it up and go left after we kill this guy. And, I mean, that's going to take a lot of turns to run back the other way. 3 or 4 turns. I mean, I guess if I want to do the cultist thing, I could hand off a cultist, but it's probably not looking great. But then you're going to run into the bear guy, probably, who's sort of tough early on. So I think the path of least resistance, like the easiest way to go, is probably just go down and kill all the greenskins in the mountains. Even though I'm going to make less money. What is it again? Okay, control doesn't matter. Construction cost kind of matters. Income, it's not great. Settlement buildings being more expensive. I mean, it's certainly not good. But just winning the battles, getting the experience, just kind of powering through all that, it's probably good. But anyways, I guess we'll figure that out next time. I'll go over the plagues. I know it's like a super... Let's see which ones we get here. Okay, that's actually a pretty nice one. So basically, it randomizes this. Well, whatever. We're already kind of late. I'll just show you this just really quickly. It randomizes the symptoms, and I think you have to start a plague here, and then you click on 2 other ones. It has to have 3 components to do a full plague. You can't do like single ingredient plagues anymore. So we've got replenishment, plus 10%, or all units suffer attrition. We've got Vanguard, or minus 15% for the enemy. All of them have a plus for you and a minus for them. And that wasn't really the case, I don't think, before. Plus 15 armor for you, minus 15 for them. That's kind of weak. You used to have a plague that was minus 40% armor on them. So I guess if it's like 50 armor or less, then maybe this is a buff. But for the heavy armor stuff, it's definitely a nerf. Melee defense, plus 4, minus 4. Melee attack, plus 4, minus 4. Income from buildings, plus 10%, minus 10%. Campaign movement range, 15%, which is pretty good. Or minus 15% for enemies. Weapon strength, plus 10, minus 10. That one's pretty good. Corruption, plus 4 everywhere. That used to just be standard on like every plague. This one, cycle time for basic military buildings, 1. And then minus or plus 50% construction time for enemies. But the cycle time is really, really good. They don't have one for advanced. It's just for basic, but that's still nice. Missile resistance, plus 10% for you, minus 20% ammo for them. Growth, plus 50 for you, minus 50 for them. Recruitment health, plus 10% for you, minus 1 local for them. Upkeep, 15%, so that's obviously really good too. And then Winds of Magic, 5 per turn. So some of these are okay. Construction cost, 15%. And you get Fleshy Abundance, 1 cast for free per fight, which is effectively, what, like 20 magic, 22 magic or something. So that's pretty good. Can't overcast it, so single target. Or minus 50% healing cap for them. So basically every time you cast 3 plagues, then it shuffles all the symptoms around on the map, and you can only cast a symptom if it's adjacent to another symptom that you've had, and your starting symptom has to be one that you've already used, I believe. So in other words, if I go like this for casualty replenishment, Vanguard, and Fleshy Abundance, which is what I would probably do for like the best combat one I can get right now, then when it reshuffles, I would have to start with either this one, or this one, and build out 3 more. So it's got this element of randomness to it. They were saying that they didn't like the old system because it was sort of predetermined which way you would go. I disagree with that. I think there were a lot of different options early on that were good, and I thought it was reasonably balanced. There was one that was great for combat. There was one that had like early replenishment, which was really good. There was one that like gave you Nurglings, which was really good for kind of stacking up your army early. So there's a lot of good ones. And then you built out towards this big plague. And even the big plagues, like, yes, there was one that was 20% physical resist for your whole army, which was extremely good. But there was also one that was like 30% replenishment, which was really nice. There was the sack plague for money. So, I mean, you had to make... Now, a couple of them were sort of garbage. But I think at least 3 or 4 of them were quite good. And you would want them in different situations. And you had to, like, specialize in different lower-level plagues to get to those higher ones. So, I don't know. It definitely feels nerfed to me. I don't really like the RNG. Like, they're trying to make sure, again, that there's not a clear thing you do every time. But I don't think there was to begin with anyways. But you have to pick 3. You can spend extra infection, so an extra 50 per. In order to have... So if I do like this one... I guess I could do this one and this one. For the defense. I think I'd rather have a Fleshy Abundance, though. Or I could do defense armor. Maybe that's better. Cost to create a plague, 200. So, if, yeah, I can add 50. So it's more than 50 per symptom. It's 200 total to create any plague. But yeah, you can add extra spread chance. So take it up 10% per. You can add duration. So this is kind of cool. Adding a couple of extra turns. And you can add immunity. So now enemy armies are immune, and settlements are immune to any plague after one expires for 5 turns. So it can't just keep bouncing around. Now your stuff, I believe, can still keep getting plagued. It can keep bouncing around. Another thing that they added here, we're going to save that until we actually find out where he is and fight him. But it doesn't say this here, but I don't remember where I saw in a tooltip before with plagues, is the chance of spreading is reduced by 50% every time it jumps. I don't know if that was always the case, and they just didn't tell me, but if they just added that, that's obviously a massive nerf. Like, your plague is just not going to bounce around forever. So keep that in mind. If you invest heavily in plague spread, you've got like 50% spread, that it's going to go 50 to 25 to like 12 to 6, and so on and so forth. So it really doesn't have the ability to just kind of like cover the whole map like it used to. But anyways, that's it. Thank you very much. We'll be back next time. We should get a really interesting fight against the Dragon Ogre guy. We'll probably plague our people with something. I don't know, again, exactly what we want. Vanguard could be good, but that really only matters if they have a lot of missile units. And I don't think they will. That would be nice against Chaos Dwarves. But I'm not sure if I want to mess with them yet. They've got a lot of armor. I don't know. I think greenskins are probably where we're going to go, despite the mountain climate. But anyways, that's it. Thanks. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.